The day that I waited for so long came, and it was something that was so surreal. I could still remember when I woke up. I knew it's the day that I had set aside and I had prayed for. And because of the pandemic, I was downhearted and discouraged because I might not be able to do it. And it was something really, really very special for me because it was something that I would always remember, the feeling, the anxiety, the adrenaline of having to, for the very first time, be yourself in so many ways. And it was a very, very, very unforgettable experience. And feeling a feeling that you've always felt within you, and yet you weren't able to express it because of your anatomy and so many things. And being able to is so wonderful. It was an amazing moment, actually. I could still remember when I was going out of the jeep because my cousin has a jeep, and I rode into it, and I could feel my heart beating so fast. And it's not nervousness; it's something else. And from there on, Ahavah became Ahavah. Well, my first day as a woman was very, very positive. Almost all people that I was conversing with received me as a woman. I do not know if they suspect that I'm not a cis woman or I'm a transgender, but basically what I felt from how they behave around me and how they treated me was very positive, and it's kind of uplifting for the first day, and it's a wonderful feeling to be accepted, to be understood, to be admired, and to be appreciated as who you are really inside. And now having been able to come out of the shell, so to speak, it's something I would always be grateful for to the Lord, for all of this wouldn't be possible without His blessing and permission. I just knew it in my heart that it would happen. Although prior to that day, you have this, as I mentioned earlier, the pandemic, and then you have all these concerns in your mind, and that plagues your every thought, and it's a very, very difficult moment also, having to struggle over those thoughts or over all those worries that comes into your mind, or what will happen to you after this and after that. And I experienced that. I would be lying if I said that I just am like this already without any worry. And reality is actually I was so worried. The only time that my worry left is when I, woke up, started my day as Lady A or Ahavah, and slowly the nervousness, the doubt, and the anxiety slipped away, and became nothing. And I am very, very thankful for it. I know living as a woman and as a transgender has its perks and has its downfall, or downside rather. And it's sometimes funny and sometimes irritating. it's very difficult when people address you, and for whatever reason they have, they you or you're wearing this, you're looking like this, and then all of a sudden they will address you using your former pronoun and your former salutation and everything. And it's there's a pinch in your heart, though I do not react on those occasions because, well, that's their right. If that's how they perceive and see me, then well and good. I would not want to impose it, but I know who I am, and that's why that's the attitude that I have adopted, so that I won't be affected by these things. Because there were instances wherein, especially when I'm buying at the grocery, and then I would be using my ID, my debit card and credit card, and they would see the name, and obviously they would be confused. And there are some establishments that are very, very friendly, and they would be even though they saw my name already. Obviously I was dressing up as a woman, and I was talking and moving, behaving and everything, and I'm thankful for those persons who are very accommodating, and they do not allow their biases towards people like me. And there are instances wherein I enter buildings. I remember when I was going for a job offer, the work where I'm working right now. They did not allow me to enter because I gave them my ID, and they looked at me, and after looking at me they murmur, and you know how females are, they murmur, and their murmuring was very, it's like a meter away, so, and it's not that noisy, so you could easily hear their murmur. In as a transgender, because of how I behave and how I moved and how I address myself to them. And by seeing the ID, when I gave it to them, I saw their face. It was so funny. I laughed at it. Why is this man addressing me as sir? Something like that. And well, I just allowed him because that's how he wanted, and that's how he sees me. So I don't want to, waste any time on it. And eventually they got used to it. So after a couple of weeks, those who are misgendering me already have adjusted, and they've always addressed me properly already. Another is it's a positive experience, because most of the clothing that I wear are tight, something like that. So it's very tight on my body, so the shape of my body is very much evident, so to speak. And sometimes, I do not know if they appreciate it, or they are scandalized by it, or they are just really in admiration of it. I just don't know. It's something I would not give up or change, because I feel so free, and I feel more expressive, more talkative, and I started to observe myself, because before I'm so reserved. I do not engage in communication with people I normally do not know, and yet now I even ordinary people, I start conversation. I think I'm becoming like my mom. Because my mom has that ability. She doesn't know the person, and then she will just start conversing with the person, and then they would be talking as if they know each other for so long. And that's basically, I've noticed myself, I'm becoming like that, because I'm a tricycle driver, or people in the street, in the store. We just met on the shelf of the grocery store, and then all of a sudden I was talking already, and And it's weird because I wasn't like that before, when I haven't transitioned yet. And I think it's a positive thing because at least I'm becoming more sociable, more expressive, and not that timid and very shy person that I was before. And that's why I'm happy, and this is something that I like everyone to know. Well, the reaction of my family is very somewhat normal in so many ways. My mom was very much against it at the start, and she was saying all these things, and she was very much upset about it. My sister was indifferent. My brother was very upset also. My father was indifferent also. So basically, it was something that I actually did not advise them or inform them ahead of time. As I mentioned earlier, I kept everything in my heart and everything. And I do not know. It was something so real. I couldn't believe it was happening, honestly. And that's in those instances that I really felt his help, actually, and his company. And every time I have a difficulty in life, it's him. It's always been him. And the problem now is because of the pandemic, I could not go to the Adoration Chapel because that is my refuge often when I have some problems. I want to consult and everything. And that is my prayer, actually. I did not expect that they would be supportive because that's how I knew them. And that's why that's one of the main decision, or not decision, but consideration that I actually focused on and weighed, but basically at the end of the day, it's my decision and it's my life, and I just have to live with it, and they just have to live with it rather, and I live with their reaction and their reaction and their acceptance over this transition, over this change. So that's how my family life right now is. My work, as I mentioned to you, is a blessing from the Lord. I praise every day and thank Him for this opportunity, because given my situation, that was one of the consideration also that I thought of and actually feared. The livelihood. How would I survive? How would I be able to support all these things that I have in line, especially with regards to this transition and everything? And that's why my mom was really questioning me, why do I have to go to church every day? It's because I have a lot of intentions to remind the Lord of, and He might forget it, and then I might not be able to have the things that I would be needing, and the support that I'm expecting. So one of those are these things, the work that I'm working now in. They're very accommodating. I was very surprised. Everything that I prayed for, I did not ask. And basically, when I was offered and they mentioned this, I only mentioned my situation and condition, but basically they were very accommodating, and I was so happy. And then in the office, it's something that I would always be grateful to the Lord, because I know He's the one who did all these things, because he's the one that I was talking to only, and only knew my problems and all my struggles. I hardly talk to other people, so most of the time the people I talk to are the things that I tell them are the things that I could tell them. But things like this, I normally do not talk. I just talk. I talk it out with my best friend, and that is the Lord. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, the job that I'm in right now, my teaching load again, I was offered again, and I was really amazed. And that's why this video is being prepared, made is to share how God has been marvelous to me and gracious. And I want everyone to know that that is something that, when you receive a lot of things from the Lord, your tendency is to share, and this is my way of expressing or sharing those experiences to people, so that they could also not necessarily hope for the same things, because obviously people have different needs, but they could also expect the same reception from the Lord, that He answers really prayers, because the journey that I'm treading right now wouldn't be possible if He wasn't listening to me. Honestly, and I feel He's holding my hand, and that's how I sustain myself and endure all these the challenges that has visited my journey. And basically, that's how my life or my work is right now. And I'm thankful to my students who are very patient, because obviously they have their own biases also and prejudices. And seeing me, their teacher, who was before male, and then now, and then it's something that I am thankful for, their patience also, and for their accommodation again, for accommodating me and trying and being patient with me. Obviously, it's especially for the male gender, it's not an easy sight, because they knew me before, and then all of a sudden I became Ahavah. Although some of them are very welcoming, but there are people or persons that have their own values and judgment that you cannot fault them for. And those are the things that I am thankful for them, for being able to accommodate me. Love life? Well, when I started my transition, one of the areas that I was trying to explore, in all honesty, was dating, and I joined online dating sites, and I did not expect the reception that I would be receiving, and it was very overwhelmingly positive. And a lot of men actually are very captivated by my appearance, so to speak, and they were admiring me so much. And most of them are from the Middle East and Europe, and it's something again I did not hope for. The reason why I joined the dating app is because obviously I've been hibernating for 46 years, so I need to come out, and I need to see if my vocation is really to have a relationship or just to be single. And I do not want to know that by just waiting at the waiting for, and if nothing comes, then I'll be a single. No, so I adopted a proactive approach. So I joined those dating sites, and much to my surprise, it was a positive one. And there was this one serious one, which was he was Irish American with Italian ancestry. It was funny because I thought he was a poser, because when you date, when the app, a lot of persons are posting not their pictures, and then they're pretending that they are those persons in the picture. And this is what I perceived about this guy. His name was Chris, and and he was very insistent that I talk to him, and I was actually caught by surprise because I didn't wear makeup, so I was so ugly, so I was hesitant to talk to him. But because he think that I do not believe that the picture is him, so he wanted to do a video call, but the timing was wrong because I did not prepare, because I did not have meetings with my work. So when I don't have meetings, I do not wear any makeup on or prepare or make myself pretty. And then all of a sudden it cold, and that's basically the problem. I couldn't allow myself to be seen in such a state. I was so pale, I was so ugly in so many ways in my eyes. Fine is, have you read my profile? Because I do not want to waste my time. Then all of a sudden you will back out because you're not, it's not okay for you, me being transgender. So, but with him it was it was not an issue at all. It wasn't an issue at all, so to speak. They are their own men already, because I do not want young men, so the age is around 40 and above. So I have the 60-year-old man who's still very handsome, always messaging me every day. And he's Spanish in descent. He lives in Pampanga. He wanted me to go there, and he's a chef in one of the hotels there in Subic, and he's so handsome also, but he's 60 years old. I think he's 62. And that's why I always make it a point, if there is someone who is admiring me, to make sure that they read my profile, so to avoid the discomfort and the awful moment wherein you have to tell them, and then they would feel, actually I'm afraid for them, because when they are so invested in me already, and then all of a sudden I'll tell them, because the things that they are saying to me, it's something very intimate already, and something that they would not say if they don't really, or they didn't find me really very attractive or to their liking. And that's why it's actually them that I fear for, because when I tell them that I'm a transgender, then all of a sudden their heart will be broken, because they already have been smitten by my beauty, so to speak. Oh yes, the decision of going full blown to becoming a woman. After the transition, there is an option always not to go fully, or meaning surgery, or just living out as a woman, and having still your genitals there. But that was something that I had to decide already, because you have to commit resources, you have to plan, you have to do all these things, and you cannot just do that snap of a finger. You have to really prepare for it, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically. And that's why I had to make the decision, and that was last February. And the decision was, I'm going for it. I think that's the destination, actually, and I would not want, I could not live my life without first finishing that going to that level or reaching that destination. And that's why decisions have already been made, and now I solicit your prayers for the funding, because it's not cheap to have that done. The theological reservation that I had has already been resolved. I consulted not a lot, but several persons, and plus my consultation before, and all of them are, and obviously I consulted him. Okay. So basically that's it. So moving forward, it's a highlight, and it's a decision that is not easy to make. And now everything is directed to that destination. I hope that you all pray for me, and that I raise the money that I need, so that before this year end, I would be able to have the surgery that I need to be fully her. And I took all the effort to, and because I was very much attached to someone who is not available, and who did not exhibit the same connection with me. I used him actually as a escape route or a rebound, so that I could escape the guy that got away, because I felt I was really being so attached emotionally to him, and I need something to divert my attachment, my attention, my emotion away from him, the one that got away. Somewhat mutual in so many ways, but at that time, no. That's why I wanted it to be that way, so that I could, because if I knew that the feeling was mutual, I might not have left also, because he's a very handsome guy, he's a very good looking guy, he's a very self-made man already at this age, and you just liked him, when you see him, and when he smiles. Actually, his smiles is what gets me and kills me, and really captures me. When he makes that smile to me, and when he asks something, oh my gosh, it's aphrodisiac. So that is basically the highlight of my life. Now the challenges ahead, I don't call them challenges, but milestone to achieve is, that I mentioned, the surgery that I'll be having, and then obviously the person who would be joining me in my life, which I'm praying for daily, and I'm hopeful that he doesn't get stranded by the pandemic, by the quarantine. And then obviously putting up a life and living a life, a fulfilled life. And I know the Lord would always give me what I need if it's really meant for me, and that's how I see things. If it's not meant for me, it won't happen, and this thing, the mere fact that it has transpired, the mere fact that such events have happened, is an evidence that, to me at least, that his yes that he made known to me was really a yes, and perhaps it was that yes that he was just waiting for, because I was reluctant, honestly, because when this happened in 2013, which was triggered by the one who got away, I was hesitant to say yes to it, pursuing this and living. I got used to conform, and perhaps I do not want to undergo or to experience this journey, and yet, it remained in my mind, in my heart, and it never left me. And even though the one got away already, it's not anymore about him. Okay, and he was only instrumental in awakening that part of me, that has slept already. But the journey continues, and I know the one that will come will not get away anymore. And with that, I thank you for spending time in listening to this sharing. I know it's a bit long, but it's all about God and how He has actually blessed me, how He actually is sustaining me in this journey. And hopefully when the person that I'm praying for comes, I would be joining he would be joining me in a video to thank him also that we found each other already. And with that, I thank you all for listening and have a blessed day. Happy Pentecost. Tata.